Welcome back to Only 2 Degrees with Darcy and Lisa, and I'm going to welcome Cece for her segment today, which is obviously one of my favorite segments, Calories in Wine, which can be found at caloriesinwine.net. Welcome, Cece.
Hey, Albie, thanks.
How are you?
Fine.
I love this part of the show. I love it.
That's because there's alcohol involved.
Is that why? I thought it was just because
Really?
you were here.
No, I bring the wine, everything's good.
Well, even better is that DJ was able to join us today.
I was so sad last week that I had to step out for the wine segment, and it's never going to happen again. I hate missing a drinking segment.
Well, your 7 days are over.
Yes, exactly.
We did miss you momentarily, but then Rachel and Sue joined us. And
Exactly.
They were good. But also want to welcome Scott Vinton back with us to enjoy some of the wine tasting. So I guess we'll get
It's
started.
actually kind of a privilege for you, Scott, because, men aren't welcome in our wino clubs.
I know. I look forward to October when we have the Oktoberfest and get the beer. So once a year.
Oktoberfest.
That is the best part.
Actually, gotta say, as a wino, beer's my favorite.
Beer is good.
Beer is my favorite.
I'm not so much a beer fan anymore. I used to be when I was younger. It was much easier to get a hold of than wine. So.
Well, I like beer because they come in single servings.
I don't really like that.
Though, if I open a bottle, I need to finish it. So if I open a bottle of beer, it's not so bad. When I open a bottle of wine, it gets a little bit
What are you talking about?
questionable.
A bottle of wine isn't a single serving?
It's a single serving to me.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. But as our friend Alicia says, hey, I'm not an alcoholic. I have a job.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can all say that.
All right, so what are we tasting today?
We had our wine club this week, and we tasted Cabernet. So what we're tasting today is the winner.
Oh, yeah, that was
tasted.
fun.
It was the winner of 11 wines, and actually it was 10 wines because it was so sad. One of the wine bottles was corked.
Yeah, it was nasty smelling.
So sad. So we are drinking Robert Hall, which is a little winery out of Paso Robles. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon, 2005, and of course Sue went into these stories about how beautiful the wineries are in Paso Robles and this and that, and we really need to go out there tasting, and honestly, I like having the wine come to me. But this was the winner. It actually got a lot of votes, and it's a beautiful Cabernet. I actually voted for it, which is, I don't always vote for the winner.
Well, I voted for it because I thought it was Sue's wine, and she was giving it so many little kudos. I thought, well, God, this must be her wine, but it wasn't her wine.
It wasn't her wine. Karen from the Castle Bed and Breakfast here in Temecula actually brought this wine. And
Nice little pitch. We need to send them a bill for that.
hey, gotta snip it in.
Hey, I have a great story about this wine, actually. A couple friends of mine, Jeff and Barbie, turned me onto this wine about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I went to the grocery store shopping, Stater Brothers, and they had this wine for sale there, and I was told it was pretty hard to find, but so I bought 3 or 4 bottles of it, so it must have been maybe a month ago. But anyway, bought 3 or 4 bottles of it and had it at my house, and I was going to use this wine for my wine of the night, and I didn't have any left, so I went to Albertsons instead of Stater Brothers, and they didn't carry it, so I ended up getting a different wine, and then the wine I wanted to bring was the winner. I could have won the pot of money.
Could have won that whole $11 pot.
$11 could have been mine!
What, half the wine? I think it's like a $22 bottle of wine, so it's really not outrageously expensive cab, but it's nice.
Yeah, it's only $18 at the grocery store, so it's pretty inexpensive.
I like it because it's drinkable. It doesn't have the oak thing.
And what year
I'm
is
sorry,
it?
I'm not a... Oh, don't. It's an 05. That's too many 05s. I'm really glad we're on radio. Yeah.
Oh, that is a fun
You know what? Without fail, I usually end up doing the pouring at the Wino Club, and the more I pour, the more people razz me about what year it is, so I usually tell them it's an 01, and you guys can just use your imagination.
Everything's an 01. So
Everything's an 01.
She's really frustrated with us.
Yeah. And usually it's Lisa the one that's getting all the 01s. She's usually the first to get an 02 for the evening.
Yeah, I'm good with that, as long as it's all in jest.
See, Scott, this is why you can't come to Wino Club, because you can't get a word in edgewise anyway.
I gotta tell you, the
I'll just sit
Cabernet
back and enjoy it.
Yeah, Cabernet was our very first Wino Club we did Cabernet Sauvignon, and I gotta tell you, it can go either way on the cabs, because if you can imagine, I don't really like that big oak, and most of the California cabs are really big oak, and I think that's disgusting. But my runner-up for the evening, I don't know if you guys had a second favorite, but my runner-up was the Rutherford Ranch in '05. And I think if you're going to drink a Napa Cab, that is quintessentially a Napa Cab because it had this really nice, mild oak flavor to it. It's nice and smooth. The tannins were tamed.
Tamed tannins?
Tamed tannins.
Say that 10 times fast.
As compared to a wild tannin, evidently.
Like breaking a black horse, you know? It just...
So do we actually get to taste? I know.
Drink.
I'm waiting.
Oh, okay, well, let's see.
You've got glasses in front of you. Go for it.
I'm smelling it. It smells really good. The bouquet.
Okay. In a cab, you're going to look for like things like the black cherry, but you're also going to smell sometimes some chocolate and some mint and some eucalyptus, blackberries, cedar, and oak. You got to imagine with the California cabs, you're going to smell a little bit more of that oakiness. Sometimes some tea, some tobacco, some vanilla.
Wow.
That's
just a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. I have a whole list of things, like maybe 30 things that you might smell in a cab.
Berries and vanilla for sure.
Berries and vanilla. I got to tell you, there was a cab there from Argentina. It was a finca from Argentina, and that was actually quite delicious.
That was good.
I brought a cab from Chile, and it was horrid. Gotta say, not all the cabs from Chile are horrid, but the thing with the cabs from Chile, their vines, and we'll talk probably more about Chilean wines later, but their vines actually came from Europe before the phylloxera virus went through the European vines a couple hundred years ago and killed them all.
What is that, like a little bug?
And it's like a little mold. It's a little disease, and it killed all the vines in Europe. So all the vines that you see in Europe are actually vines from America that are resistant to it. So the only real old world vines are actually found in Chile right now. And actually a lot of the French winemakers came over to Chile to make wine. They were imported to Chile because they knew that the vines were original.
Wow.
That's a lot of knowledge for one cab.
I know.
She wasn't
really
even reading that off of anything. That actually just like came out of her brain and there it was. That's amazing to me.
It's just sad. Sad.
Awesome.
Sad.
I'm enthralled with
All these like stupid little facts. And well, it could have beat Lisa going all of a sudden out of the blue. I have a trivia. Did you know what Target used to be called?
Oh, that's such a great story.
Let's save that for later.
Because really, that was so random.
It was random.
We were sitting there, we're doing our question of the evening, which happened to be what party fouls.
Yeah, which we won't talk about on this show.
What happens in Wino Club stays in Wino Club.
Yeah.
That's our disclaimer.
That's our disclaimer. And Lisa, out of the blue, goes, "Did you know what Target used to be called?" And there was another random trivia thing that came up.
Was it how many UFOs? How many UFOs are spotted every month?
No, that was a trivia question yesterday.
Oh, that was yesterday. Oh, I don't know what that.
So whatever email that you're getting, you need to stop reading it.
I'm just a news junkie, and I just consider that news.
All right, Stacy, let's taste the wine, and you give us your opinion on the wine.
It's good.
It's good. I'd recommend drinking it.
It's good. I recommend drinking it.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
You know what? I usually do a 1 to 5 scale because it's a little bit easier for my brain to wrap around, and it'd be between a 4 and a 5. I would drink it a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
It's very good.
Even at 9 in the morning, it's not bad. Not that I would know.
Okay, was that from the diet that your doctor said that you should probably stop drinking wine in the evening, and you said, okay, is it all right if I drink it in the morning?
Yeah, and he said whatever it takes, just have a glass a day.
Is that your red wine diet book?
My red wine diet book.
The red wine diet book? Well then, I gotta say, Cabernet can go one of two ways. It can go real tannic, which is like eating a big pile of grape seeds, or it can go nice and smooth. And when you think of Cabernet, it's all about the structure of the wine. It's a very structured wine, which is why it's blended a lot with things that tame it down, like the great Bordeaux's of the world, especially those left bank Bordeaux's are primarily cab, and then they smooth out the tannins with the Merlot. So I think to have a cab that's like a standalone Cabernet Sauvignon, you have to be a pretty darn good winemaker to be able to make it drinkable and smooth without it, those big tannins going, "Hola, I am a tannin, I'm going to bite you in the tongue."
All right, so we have to say cheers to Robert Hall.
Cheers to Robert Hall.
Wait, this is your host, Stacey Nelson, telling you to go to www.caloriesandwine.net and check out the entire series of this podcast. Better yet, go to www.only2degrees.com and listen to the entire radio show with Lisa and Darcy, with me, Stacey Nelson, as your resident wino. Happy tasting!